Okay, previously you've studied the slope-intercept form and the point-slope form for equations of lines, and now you're going to be studying the standard form. The standard form takes the format of ax plus by equals c. Standard form. The a and the b and the c are always capitalized when you're writing this out like this. And the a and the b always have to be integers. In other words, they cannot be fractions. No fractions for the a and the b. And the a needs to be positive. We'll get into that. I know it's hard to remember right now, but we'll get into that and practice it, and you'll see what I mean. You can graph lines from the standard form using x and y-intercepts. So it's important to know what the x and y-intercepts are. The y-intercept, as you know from previous study, is where the line intercepts the y-axis. In this case, is where it intercepts the y-axis. And the x-intercept is where it intercepts the x-axis. So what is the y-intercept in this case? The y-intercept is 0, 1, 2. 0, 2. And the x-intercept is 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Okay, so we've got an x-intercept and a y-intercept. Those are the coordinates, and if you notice something about those coordinates, the y-intercept occurs when the x is 0. The x-intercept occurs when the y is 0. So it's a very important concept. The x-intercept occurs when the y-coordinate is 0, and the y-intercept occurs when the x-coordinate is 0. So let's graph 2x plus 4y equals 16 by using the x and the y-intercepts. The information I just told you was that the x-intercept occurs when the y is 0. So what we do to find the x-intercept is we go 2 times x plus 4 times 0, because I said the x-intercept occurs when y is 0. So that gives us equals 16. So that gives us 2x equals 16, because this becomes 0 right here. Divide by 2, divide by 2. That gives us x equals 8. So we come over here and we put a dot at x equals 8. Then to find the y-intercept, remember the y-intercept occurs when the x is 0. So we go 2 times 0 plus 4y equals 16. That'll give us 4y equals 16. Divide by 4 on both sides, and that gives us y equals 4. So we come over here and we put our dot at y equals 4, and we draw our line. Excuse me, that was poorly done again. We draw our line through the points, and we've got it done using the x and the y-intercept. So the way we found the y-intercept was we let the x equal 0. The way we found the x-intercept is we let the y equal 0. Graph negative x plus 2y equals 3 using the x and the y-intercepts. That's what this format is so good for, is being able to just do it using the x and y-intercepts. So remember to when you want to find the x-intercept, let the y equal 0. When you want to find the y-intercept, let the x equal 0. So we've got negative x plus, oh, this is your turn. Let the y equal 0, find the x-intercept, and then let the let the x equal 0 and find the y-intercept. Pause the video and do this and see what you can do. Okay, picking up from where we left off, negative x plus 2 times 0 equals 3. So that gives us negative x equals 3. Divide by negative 1. Divide by negative 1. And that gives us x equals negative 3. So we come over here to negative 3 and we put our dot. And then we come over here and we let x equal 0. So it'll be negative 0 plus 2y equals 3. So that gives us 2y equals 3. Divide by 2, divide by 2. That gives us y equals 1 1/2. So now we come over to the y-axis and we go 1 1/2. And we draw our line. And voila, there we go. Okay, graph y equals negative x minus 5 using the x and y intercepts. Sometimes it looks very obvious, okay? And sometimes you need to work it out. This one might look a little obvious, but let's see. First thing you want to do is you want to put it in the ax plus by equals c format. Okay, so let's do that. The problem right now is that the x is on the wrong side. So let's put it on the correct side. So we take away the x from this side. Now we've got x plus y equals negative 5. So we got it in the correct format. So if we let x equal 0, we'll have 0 plus y equals 5. Y equals 5. No, negative 5. Negative 5. So we come over here to y equals negative 5 and we put our dot. And then we let y equals 0 and it'll be x plus 0 equals negative 5. X equals negative 5. And we put our dot here at negative 5. And then we draw our line through the point. And we've got our line. All right, now to manipulate it so that it's going to be in standard form. This is point slope form, if you remember, and now we want to put it in standard form, which means that we've got to have the x and the y on the same side. See, it's ax plus by equals c. So let's distribute our multiplication first. So we've got y minus 1 equals negative 2/3 times x. Minus times minus gives us plus. 5 times 2 gives us 10 over 3. So now we're going to have to get rid of this 1 right here. So plus 1 and plus 1. That gives us y equals negative 2/3 x plus 10/3 is 3 1/3. Well, let's do it this way. 10/3 plus 1. 1 is 3 over 3. So 10/3 plus 3/3 gives us 13/3. Now we need to get rid of this x. It's on the wrong side, so we don't want it on this side. So we go plus 2/3 x plus 2/3 x. So now we've got 2/3 x plus y equals 13/3. And you might think we're through, that we have it in the ax plus by format. But remember I told you that it needs to be integers. We can't let it be a fraction. So how do we get rid of this denominator of 3 that we have right here? That's right, we multiply by 3. And if we multiply one thing by 3, we have to multiply everything by 3. So that gives us 2x plus 3y equals, I should have crossed that out, and this crosses out, and that leaves you with 13. So 2x plus 3y equals 13. All right, your turn. Write this one in standard form. Pause the video and then get back with me. So we've got y minus 1. We want to get rid of the 1. So excuse me, I got ahead of myself. Y minus 1 equals 7x plus 35. So we add 1 to both sides. That gives us y equals 7x plus 36. So now we get rid of the 7x. Oh, y'all are hitting me up on this. I didn't draw my line. Minus 7x. So that gives me negative 7x plus y equals 36. And we do have it in the right format. We do have just integers. But remember, I also told you that everything, that the a needs to be positive. So what we do is we change the sign of everything because we're multiplying everything by negative 1. So that gives us 7x minus y equals negative 36. Okay, now let's take point slope form and write it in slope intercept form. We've got y plus 3 equals 3 halves x plus 1. We want it to be in slope intercept form. So we go y plus 3 equals 3 halves x plus 3 halves. We want the y to be by itself because remember the format is y equals mx plus b. So we go minus 3 and minus 3. That gives us y equals 3 halves x. This is 1.5. So negative 3 and positive 1.5 gives us negative 1.5. All right, your turn. Write this in point slope in slope intercept form. Remember, it's y equals mx plus b. Pause the video and then get back with me. First thing we do is distribute. That gives us negative 5x minus 15. Go minus 7 and minus 7. That gives us y equals negative 5x minus 22. Did you get that? All right, now write an equation in standard form for the line described below. It has an x-intercept of negative 3 and a y-intercept of 10. So both the numbers that you're dealing with are going to have to be divisible by multiples of 3 and 10. The easiest way to do this is go negative 3 times 10 and get negative 30. 30 is the main thing that you need. Okay? We can put negative 30 there. All right? Now, you're going to have an x and you're going to have a y. The key is what goes in front of them so that you can get an x-intercept of negative 3. So what can I put in front of this x so that when I divide negative 30 by it, I get negative 3? Right. You go negative 30 divided by negative 3 and you get positive 10. What can I put in front of the y so that when I divide it, I get a positive 10? Right, negative 3. So that gives me 10x minus 3y equals negative 30. Okay, write an equation in standard form for the line described. It goes through negative 2, 3, and 9, negative 4. Well, the first thing we want to do is find the slope. So we go m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that gives us negative 7 over 11 is our slope. So now we come over here and we go y, okay, we can put it in slope-intercept form first. Y equals mx plus b. So y is 3. We could have chosen this point over here to do this with, but we're going to just randomly choose this one. 3 equals negative 7/11 times x, which is negative 2, plus b. So that gives us 3 equals negative, oops, positive, because it's negative times negative, 14 over 11 plus b. 3, let's do this. Okay, minus 14 over 11, minus 14 over 11, Okay. 3 is 33 over 11. So 33 minus 14 gives us 19 over 11 equals B. So now we can write it in slope-intercept form. We've got y equals negative 7/11 x plus 19 over 11. Okay, one of the things you remember about this is that you can't have fractions in standard form. So let's get rid of the fractions. The way we do that is by multiplying by this denominator of 11. So we multiply everything by 11. That gives us 11y equals 7x plus 19. And remember that x and the y have to be on the same side. So we go minus 7x minus 7x. That gives us negative 7x plus 11y equals 19. Then that one last thing that you got to remember, it can't be, the a can't be negative, so we change the sign of every one of them. 7x minus 11y equals negative 19. Horrible.